city of the state of New South Wales, Australia. The city is home to a population of around 6 million people. Despite being one of the most expensive cities in the world, Sydney frequently ranks in the top 10 most livable cities in the world. It is classified as an Alpha Global City by Globalization and World Cities Research Network, indicating its influence in the region and throughout the world. The Parramatta River flows through the heart of Sydney, and Sydney was founded on its banks in 1788. Sydney is the largest city in Australia and has numerous attractions, such as the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Opera House, and the QVB. Sydney Airport is located in the inner southern suburb of Mascot, with 2 of the runways going into Botany Bay. It serves as 46 international destinations and 23 domestic destinations. Sydney also has ferries, buses, and the new driverless and automated Sydney Metro. Sydney's main railway terminus is Sydney Central Station, which is also Australia's largest railway station. The station first opened in 1855 at a slightly different location. A second Sydney terminal station was built in the same location in the 1870s. In 1906, the current station opened near Eddy Avenue. The main part of the station used to have 15 platforms for intercity, interstate, and regional New South Wales train services. Platforms 13, 14, and 15 were demolished in 2018 to make way for the $955 million upgrade at Central Station to allow the Sydney Metro to come to the CBD. The intercity platforms are also used for special event trains to Olympic Park on the T7 line. The station also has 3 concourses. The Grand Concourse is the main concourse of the station and is connected to the New South Wales Trainlink platforms. Platforms 16 to 23 offer Sydney Trains suburban services on lines T1, T2, T3, T8 and T9. Platform 16 is for the North Shore line for the T1 and T9 lines. Platform 17 is for City Circle services. Platform 18 is for services to Penrith, Emu Plains and Richmond on the T1 line and towards Epping on the T9 line. Platform 19 is for services to the Inner West and Lovington. Platform 20 is also for City Circle services. Platform 21 is for services to the City Circle from the airport. Platform 22 is for services towards Bankstown, and Platform 23 is for services towards the airport, Revesby and Macarthur. Platforms 24 and 25 are underground platforms of Central Station. These platforms serve trains on the T4 Eastern Suburbs and Illawarra line to Cronulla, Waterfall and Bondi Junction. These platforms also serve some South Coast Line services. also has 3 light rail lines. The L1 line goes to Dulwich Hill, while L2 and L3 go to Randwick and Kingsford. The Inner West Light Rail L1 line opened in 1997 to Wentworth Park. It was extended to Lilyfield by 2000 and reached Dulwich Hill in 2014. The CBD and South East Light Rail L2 line opened in 2019 to Randwick, and the Kingsford branch opened in 2020. The Parramatta Light Rail will open soon in 2023. The City Circle is the core of Sydney's railway network, with 5 stations at Town Hall, Wynyard, Circular Quay, St James and Museum. St James and Museum stations opened first in 1926, and in 1932, Town Hall and Wynyard stations opened when the Harbour Bridge was opened. Circular Quay Station opened in 1956, completing the City Circle. Today, we are going to see the evolution of Sydney's railway network and how it all began. D31. The first railway to open in Sydney was in 1855 between the city and Parramatta Junction, with 4 stations in between. These are photos of Ashfield and Redfern stations. The line was extended to Liverpool in 1856 with a stop at Fairfield. These are pictures of Liverpool Station back in time. This one is from 1990. In 1857, Petersham Station opened on the main line. The line was extended to Campbelltown in 1858, and Lidcombe Station opened on the main line. These are pictures of Campbelltown and Lidcombe stations. In 1860, the Express line opened to Parramatta and Blacktown. These are pictures of Parramatta and Blacktown stations. In 1861, the line was extended to Rooty Hill. 1 year later, the line was extended to St Mary's. In 1863, the line finally reached Penrith and Seven Hills Station opened. This is a picture of Penrith Station. In 1864, a branch line opened to Richmond with 3 stations. This is a modern-day picture of Richmond Station. In 1868, the line was extended to Emu Plains and Warrington Station opened. In 1869, Glenfield and Ingleburn stations opened on the South Line, and this is a picture of Glenfield Station in 1968. In 1870, Cabramatta, Clarendon and Schofield stations opened. In 1872, Quakers Hill Station opened. In 1874, Minto Station opened on the South Line. In 1875, Croydon opened on the Main Line. In 1876, Stratfield and Guildford opened, and this is a picture of the former Stratfield Station. In 1877, Auburn opened on the Main Line. In 1878, Canley Vale and Stanmore opened. In 1879, Summer Hill opened on the Main Line. In 1880, Toongabbie and Doonside opened. In 1881, Mount Druitt opened. In 1882, Clyde Station opened on the Main Line. In 1883, Wentworthville and Westmead opened. In 1884, the Illawarra line opened to Hurstville, with 7 stations in between, and House Park opened on the Main Line. These are pictures of Sydenham and Hurstville stations. In 1885, the Illawarra line was extended to Sutherland with a stop at Como, and a section of the Carlingford line opened between Clyde and Camellia. This is a picture of Sutherland Station in 1954. In 1886, the Northern Line opened to Hornsby. 7 stations opened in between, and Lemay Station opened on the South Line as well. In the same year, the Illawarra Line was extended to Waterfall with 4 stations, as well as a spur to the Royal National Park, and Lewisham Station opened on the main line. These are pictures of Epping, Hornsby, and Waterfall stations. In 1887, Concord West and Meadowbank stations opened on the Northern Line, and a section of the North Shore Line opened to Barara with a stop at Mount Coller. In the same year, Carlton Station opened on the Illawarra Line, along with Kingswood Station towards Penrith. In 1888, Rosehill and Macquarie Field stations opened, along with a spur to Sandown. In 1889, Marylands and Warwick Farm stations opened, along with a spur to the Warwick Farm Racecourse. In 1890, the North Shore Line opened to St Leonard's with 7 stations. This is a picture of the new Chatswood Station being constructed in 2007. In 1892, McDonald Town Station opened on the main line. In 1893, the North Shore Line was extended to the original Milsons Point Station. This is a picture of the original Milsons Point Station. In 1894, Casula Station opened on the South Line. In 1895, Waitoa and Normanhurst stations opened in the north of Sydney, and a line was opened between the city and Belmore with 5 stations. In 1896, the Carlingford Line was completed with stations of Rylymere, Dundas and Carlingford, and this is a picture of Carlingford Station in 1900. In 1897, Morgdale Station opened on the Illawarra Line. 1 year later, Art Armand and Cheltenham stations opened in the north of Sydney. In 1899, Killara Station opened on the North Shore Line. 1 year later, Warrawee Station opened. In 1901, Mount Kiringar Station opened on the North Shore Line, along with a line that was opened to Camden with 7 stations. In 1906, the current Central Station opened, and Bankstown Station opened on the Illawarra Line. This is a picture of Central Station in the 1940s. In 1909, the Belmore Line was extended to Bankstown with 2 stations. This is a picture of Bankstown Station. In 1912, a spur opened from Lidcombe to Regent's Park with a stop at Berala. In 1915, Asquith Station opened on the North Shore Line. In 1918, North Stratfield Station opened, along with a spur to Holsworthy. In 1920, Engadine Station opened on the line towards Waterfall. In 1922, Marion Station opened on the line towards Richmond. In the same year, a branch opened between Westmead and Northmead with a stop at Mons Road. In 1923, the Northmead line was extended to Castle Hill with 7 stations. In the same year, the Holsworthy line was cut back to the Anzac Rifle Range. In 1924, the Castle Hill line was extended all the way to Rogan's Hill. In the same year, Flemington and Pendle Hill stations opened. Also in the same year, the Regent's Park line was extended to Cabramatta with 4 stations. In 1925, Talopia and Alawa stations opened. The Richmond line was extended to Currajong in 1926 with a stop at North Richmond. In the same year, St James and Museum stations opened in the city circle. These are pictures of St James and Museum stations. In the same year, the Illawarra line was electrified to the Royal National Park, and the Bankstown line was electrified to Bankstown. In 1927, Yennora Station opened on the South Line. In the same year, the North Shore Line was electrified. The Bankstown line was extended to Regent's Park in 1928 with 2 stations. In 1929, the Express line to Parramatta was electrified, along with the South Line towards Liverpool, the Northern Line to Hornsby, and the Regent's Park line from Lidcombe to Cabramatta via Regent's Park. In 1931, Denali Station opened on the Illawarra line, along with the East Hills line between St James and East Hills. 10 stations opened along the line, and this is a picture of East Hill Station in the 1950s. The Rogans Hill line closed in 1932. In the same year, the Sydney Harbour Bridge opened, giving the North Shore Line access to Central Station. 4 current stations opened along the line. The bridge was also used for the North Shore tram services from 1932 until 1958. Air Station opened on the Richmond Line. The section between Clyde and Rose Hill was electrified in 1936. In 1937, Denniston opened on the Northern Line. In 1938, Wiley Park opened on the Bankstown Line. In 1939, East Richmond opened, along with a spur to Cronulla with 5 stations. In the same year, the section between Bankstown and Regent's Park was electrified, and the same picture of Cronulla Station in 2007. In 1942, Leighton Field Station opened along with the Rhodes Creek branch line with a stop at Dunhead. In 1952, the section between Richmond and Currajong closed due to major flooding. In 1955, the section between Parramatta and Penrith was electrified. In 1956, the City Circle was finally completed with the opening of Circular Quay Railway Station. This is a picture of Circular Quay Station during construction. In 1957, Cochrane Station opened when the Rhodes Creek line was electrified and the section to Emu Plains was electrified. In 1959, the whole Carlingford line was electrified along with the Sandown branch, and the section between Hornsby and Barara and Cowan was electrified. In 1963, the Camden line closed. The section between Liverpool and Campbelltown was electrified in 1968. The section between Blacktown and Riverstone was electrified in 1975. In 1977, the Holsworthy line to the Anzac Rifle Range closed. In 1979, the Eastern Suburbs line opened to Bondi Junction via Central, Town Hall, Martin Place, King's Cross, and Edgecliff after nearly 30 years of construction. This is a picture of Bondi Junction Station. In 1980, electrification was extended to Waterfall. In 1985, the Campbellton line was extended to Macarthur. In 1986, the Rhodes Creek line was closed. The East Hills line was extended to Glenfield in 1987 with a stop at the current Holsworthy station. In 1990, the spur to the Warwick Farm Racecourse closed. In 1991, electrification was extended to Richmond. In the same year, the spurs to Sandown and the Royal National Park closed. But the Royal National Park line was converted and preserved into a tramway in 1993. In 1996, the T5 Cumberland line began operation between Campbelltown and Schofields. In 1998, the T7 Olympic Park line was opened to serve the various sport arenas in the area. In 2000, the Sydney Airport Rail Link opens in time for the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. The stations on that line were Green Square, Mascot, Domestic Airport, International Airport, and an interchange station at Walleye Creek, connecting the Illawarra line and the South Coast line to the airport. In 2009, the Epping to Chatswood Rail Link was opened with stations at North Ryde, Macquarie Park and Macquarie Uni. In 2015, the Southwest Rail Link was opened with stations at Edmondson Park and Leppington, and this is a picture of Leppington Station. In 2017, T5 Cumberland Line services stopped operating to Campbelltown, and the T8 line was formed. In the same year, the T2 and T5 lines were redirected to Leppington, and T5 Cumberland Line services were extended to Richmond, but only at night. In 2018, the Epping to Chatswood Rail Link closed to be converted for Sydney Metro use. In 2019, the Sydney Metro Northwest finally opened, which also reused the Epping to Chatswood Rail Link. Finally, in 2020, the Carlingford line was closed to make way for the Parramatta Light Rail. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share and subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you all next time.